What's up, everyone? Welcome to week 8 of my NFL predictions. Last week in week 7, I went 10-5, putting my current record at 69-38. So, starting off these predictions, Thursday night football played tonight. Vikings at the Rams. Vikings lost their first game last week against the Detroit Lions, and the Rams won their second game against the Raiders in week 7. And this one's going to be fun, especially because Cooper Kupp is expected to be back for this game for the Rams. And I think that's going to make this game a lot closer than what people might expect. And, the Vikings defense also didn't play great last week, and we'll have to see if they can rebound against a solid Rams offense with Cooper Kupp in the mix. Without him, they're not great, but if he's going to play, I think that's going to give him a spark. And we'll have to see if the Vikings can neutralize that spark, along with, also playing good offense on their side of the ball, which has been a big Rams issue. The Rams defense has been pretty bad this year. So I think because the Rams defense has been bad and because I still think the Vikings are a very good team, I have the Vikings winning this one with a score of 24-20. Starting off the 1 o'clock slate, we have the Packers taking on the Jags. The Packers able to beat the Texans last week 24-22, and the Jags able to beat the Patriots in London 32-16. And we'll have to see which team can carry their momentum to victory. And I'm not going to lie, I think it's going to be the Packers because the Jags honestly kind of suck. And I'm going to just assume the Packers win this one. It is played in Florida, which is notable because the Packers randomly play bad in Florida. But regardless, the Jags aren't a very good team, and the Packers are a good team, so I do have the Packers winning this one. I do think it'll be close, though. I think the Packers win 23-20. Moving on, we got the Cardinals taking on the Dolphins. Cardinals won on Monday Night Football against the Chargers, 17-15, and the Dolphins lost to the Colts on Sunday, 16-10, or 10-16, the way you want to say it, I guess. And this game is interesting, and it's interesting because this is the game that Tua is expected to make his return in since his week 2 injury. And I do think that will obviously play a factor in the game, considering that it looks like without Tua, the Dolphins just don't know how to play offense. And I do think the Dolphins will win because Tua's going to be playing. If he wasn't playing, it'd be like a 50-50, but I think Tua's going to be the difference maker in this game. And I think the Dolphins' offense will finally show some sparks for the first time since week 1. And the Cardinals, the thing about them is they just don't have a lot of talent, and they're inconsistent as hell. And they won last week, so that means they'll probably lose this week because people think they're good now. But regardless, I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win 25-20. Moving on, we got an AFC East showdown between the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. The Jets losing to the Steelers on Sunday Night Football 37-15, and the Patriots losing to the Jags in London 16-32. And the thing about this game is neither team is really playing that good. And the Jets have been massively underwhelming considering they had Super Bowl aspirations this year. And the Patriots, they're the Patriots. No one really expected them to be good. So I guess it's not as bad for them that they're 1-6. But yeah, I don't think this game's going to be all that exciting. I do think the Jets will win. And I think they will win this one a score of 17-16. Our next game up is an AFC North showdown between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens winning their 5th game in a row on Monday Night Football against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 41-31. And their offense looks really damn good, really good. and their Browns, they lost to the Bengals 14-21. And they also lost to Deshaun Watson for the rest of the season, which honestly is probably not even that bad, if I'm being honest. And they're going to be starting Jameis Winston in this game, which I do think will make this game entertaining a little bit. But at the same time, the Ravens are a juggernaut. And I have some concerns with the Ravens defense, but I don't really think that's going to matter in a game like this because the Browns offense isn't exactly good. And I know they have Nick Chubb now, but Nick Chubb is not going to single-handedly save this offense. So I think the Ravens will win this one with a score of 37-17. This next game should be very interesting. You got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Eagles able to take care of business against the Giants 28-3. And the Bengals able to take care of business as well, beating the Browns 21-14. And the reason I think this game's going to be really good is because both these teams have very good offenses, and both teams have very bad defenses. And basically, whenever that's the case, that's a recipe for exciting football. And we got it here, in my opinion. You got Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown on the Eagles side of things, and on the Bengals, you got Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. This will be very fun. And it's also interesting because both head coaches are on the hot seat as well. So whoever loses this game could potentially get fired. So, they're playing for a lot here because Eagles got to keep pace with the Commanders, and the Bengals need to just get back on track. And I do think the Eagles are going to win because I think they have slightly more talent on offense, and I do think their defense has been playing better a little bit these past few weeks, and because of that, I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this one with a close score of 33-30. Moving on, we got an AFC South matchup between the Colts and the Texans. Colts able to take care of business against the Dolphins 16-10, and the Texans losing in heartbreaking fashion to the Packers 22-24. And yeah, I do think this game will be closer than a lot of people think because it's a division rivalry, and games like those always have the potential to be close because these teams know each other more than, the average teams know each other. And another reason why I think this will be close is because the Texans' offense has been struggling, which it's weird to say that, but they have. For their standards, they have not been living up to their standards. And it also, you got the Colts, whose offense is kind of a mess right now because you have Anthony Richardson, who isn't exactly the best quarterback, but they're going to still play him. And their defense is absolutely terrible. So I think the Texans have an opportunity to get back on track offensively. And I do think they will, I suppose, a little bit because I don't know, because they could still win and not play great offensively. And I think it might be something like that, if I'm being honest, because they really don't need to play that good to win this game. But at the same time, I still think they will win 20-17. Moving on, we've got a game. We have the Titans playing against the Lions. The Titans losing to the Bills 34-10, and the Lions able to receive their fourth straight win, giving the Vikings their first loss. 31-29 was the score of that game. And honestly, I don't know who the hell was going to pick the Titans to win this game because they just look terrible. And the Lions obviously are very good. And I do obviously have the Lions winning this one. I'm winning with a score of 38-10. Moving on, we got an NFC South matchup between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. The Falcons losing to the Seahawks, snapping the Seahawks 3-game losing streak and snapping the Falcons 3-game winning streak. and they lost 34-14. And the Bucs lost to the Ravens on Monday Night Football 31-41. And the thing about this game is the Falcons, I was actually thinking about picking them in this game, but at the same time, my problem with this team is they show no consistency on offense. And they are 4-3, and credit to them for that. That's a good record and everything, but I cannot trust this team to be consistent on offense. And the Bucs, they're just not in a good situation either. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are not going to be playing in this game. Mike Evans going to miss the next 3 weeks. Chris Godwin's going to be out for a while, maybe for the season. And you could go either way with this because the Bucs don't have receivers and the Falcons don't have consistency. And I actually am gonna pick the Bucs to win this game because I trust Baker more than Kirk, honestly. And this year I do. And I have the Buccaneers winning this game a score of 17-14. Entering the 4 o'clock slate, we have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Saints losing on Thursday Night Football 33-10 to the Denver Broncos, and the Chargers losing on Monday Night Football to the Arizona Cardinals. So, both teams coming off of losses, and obviously both teams trying to get back on track. And I do believe that Dennis Allen is going to be coaching for his job in this game because the Saints are currently on a 5-game losing streak, and there were doubts with him before the season as well. And I don't think he's that good of a head coach, and I think it's only a matter of time until he gets fired. And this could be the game he gets fired, at the game, after the game. And the Chargers, the thing about them is their offense really was so uninspiring against a very bad Cardinals defense last week. And, they didn't score a single touchdown against the Cardinals of all teams. And, the Saints defense really struggled when they played the Broncos, and the Chargers offense struggled. And like I always say, something's got to give. And I'm going to give this one to the fact that the Chargers have Justin Herbert, who I still think is a very good quarterback, and they have Jim Harbaugh, who I think is a better coach than Dennis Allen. And those are going to be my 2 factors, and I have the Chargers winning this one 27-13. Moving on, we got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The Bills able to beat the Titans 34-10. And the Seahawks able to beat the Falcons 34-14. So both these teams having dominating victories. And the Bills, one thing about the Bills that I am kind of concerned about, not too concerned, but a little concerned, is I feel like a lot of the games that they've won have been against not great opponents. Which, to be fair, you obviously can't control your schedule. So not, super much, not a big concern or anything like that. And the Seahawks, it's kind of the same thing, honestly. They started 3-0 and beat some not great teams, and then they were able to beat the Falcons this week in Week 7, but at the same time, the Falcons aren't exactly the most consistent team when it comes to offense. So I think this game will really prove who the real good team is and who's just, kind of a fraudulent team when it comes to, Super Bowl contention and things like that. And like I did with the Chargers and the Saints, I'm going to have to go with the QB and coach tandem that I trust more, and I trust Josh Allen and Sean McDermott a hell of a lot more than Geno Smith and Mike McDonald. So Bills are going to win this one 31-20. Moving on, we got the Chicago Bears taking on the Washington Commanders. The Bears had a bye week last week, and the Commanders were able to destroy the Panthers 40-7. And that was also without Jaden Daniels for a large majority of the game. So that really shows how good their offense can be. which, I mean, I just complimented them, but at the same time, they probably need Jaden Daniels if they want to win this game. But they really, I don't think they're going to play him because they had another quarterback who was a rookie who was doing essentially the same thing that Jaden Daniels is doing right now, showing some incredible flashes and in some incredible highlight plays. And they decided to play him through his injuries. And I think the Commanders are trying to avoid that situation from happening. So I think they're going to play it as safe as they possibly can, which honestly they should. I mean, they are 5-2. And honestly, I mean, I usually don't say this, but they could afford to lose a game. I mean, they're still, I feel like they would still win the division regardless if they lose or win this game, which I do think they will lose because I don't think they'll play Jaden Daniels, and I have them losing to the Bears 24-17, or the Bears winning. I don't know why I said the team losing first, but yeah, Bears 24, Commanders 17. Moving on, we got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs able to get their 6th victory of the season and remain undefeated against the 49ers 28-18. And the Raiders were not able to win against their foe, the Rams, losing that game 20-15. And I mean, like, I don't even know what to say here. I mean, the Raiders look absolutely terrible. The Chiefs do too, but the Chiefs get bullshit to go their way, and they have a really good defense too. And they also have, a clutch quarterback who is playing terrible, but, when he's clutch, and he's been getting the job done. And I think he'll do the same here. And I have the Chiefs winning this one with a score of 29-10. Moving on to our final 4 o'clock game, we have the Panthers taking on the Broncos. The Panthers losing in embarrassing fashion to the Commanders 7-40, and the Broncos able to win on Thursday Night Football against the Saints 33-10. And I mean, yeah, this is one of the first games, because I'm a Broncos fan, that I can say that I genuinely think we are going to win. And I'm not just saying that, or I'm not just being like, oh, well, I hope we don't screw this up or anything like that. This is a game, I have full confidence that we will win this game. And I need to try to be as optimistic as possible because, it's fun. We're 4-3 and we're looking good. And Bo Nix looks good. Our defense looks unbelievable. And Sean Payton's been a phenomenal head coach so far this year. And yeah, I'm going to pick the Broncos to win this one 23-3. Moving on to our Sunday night game, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And the Cowboys had a bye week last week. And the 49ers losing to the Chiefs 18-28. And this game, I don't even know what to say here. The Cowboys, they're underachieving, and the 49ers, they're just injured. And I don't think this is going to be a good game. And I mean, I get why the NFL put this on Sunday night because, the expectation was these teams would be good, but the reality is they just aren't. And I mean, I don't think this is going to be that good of a game. I mean, I think they should probably flex this out as Sunday night if I'm being honest. And I do think I'm going to have to go with the 49ers here. I mean, this is tough because I think the 49ers have better coaching, but at the same time, the Cowboys are coming off of a bye week and they are healthier, so you could go either way with this, but I'm going to go with the 49ers because they're at home. And I think Brock Purdy's been playing better than Dak Prescott this year too. And I do think the 49ers will win this one with a close score of 24-22. Moving on to our Monday night game, we have the Giants taking on the Steelers. Why the hell this is Monday Night Football is beyond me, but I digress. Giants losing to the Eagles 3-28 last week, and the Steelers able to beat the Jets 37-15 on Sunday night. And yeah, I mean, this game, I think it's safe to say who we all think's going to win this game. But at the same time, the Steelers are one of those teams. That's the team I think is going to win, but I could see him losing this game. I really could. This is such a Mike Tomlin to fuck up and lose. So if the Giants win, I would not be that surprised. And the Giants also have Malik Nabers because their offense is terrible, but at the same time, he is the one player on that offense that is good. And I feel like that could randomly give the Steelers problems because it's the Steelers and they just do that for some reason. But I still am going to pick the Steelers. I have them winning this one with a low score of 13-10. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Here's all of the score predictions right here listed for you. And that's going to do it. And on Saturday, I'm going to post a video talking about every NFL team's biggest strength right now. And I will see you all there.